Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to show you how to use PKTMON and Wireshark packet sniffers to monitor traffic on your network. My name is Yevgen and this channel is all about showing you how to become a highly IT professional and fast. Let's get started. So, in Windows 10 October 2018 update, Windows introduced a feature called PKTMON. PKTMON is an application that captures the traffic. And then you can export it to PKTMON specific files, or if you have Windows 10 May 2020 update, it's also known as Windows 10 version 2004, you can export those packets to Wireshark format. It's called PKTMON. So first thing first, let's see if our computer is updated enough to have this running. To do that, we just press Windows key or press Start and write WinVer. So, WinVersion. When we press enter, this small window appears. And here we can see Windows version 2004. This means that our computer is able to capture the traffic with PKTMON on it and also able to export it to PKTMON file format. So, let's start with it first. First thing we need to do is to open CMD. As capturing packets is something that administrators should do, you should open CMD as administrator. So we press Windows button, Start button, write CMD, and now right-click Command Prompt and run it as administrator. When we press this, Windows will ask us if we are certain that we want to start this as administrator service. And we press yes. And this appears. CMD is perfect and it works great. And now, let's see if the application is actually installed. We just write PKTMON and press enter. So in here, let me just make it a bit bigger. Okay, so in here, what do we have? We have the definition of flags and how the application works. So first thing we need to note is that there are different parameters that will allow us to start and stop monitoring. What this means is Windows is not always capturing the traffic. We need to say that we want to start capturing it, do a thing we want to capture, and then stop. Obviously, if we do that at some specific time, there might be some different accesses to the internet, and they will be also captured. What that means is we need to filter the traffic we are looking for. So in this example, let's capture some traffic on port 80. To do that, we need to apply a filter. Now let's see how filters are applied. We just write PKTMON and write filter. One thing Microsoft did well this time is adding help command to all the features that you try to use. So if you write PKTMON filter help, it will show you all the help you can have with this command. So in this case, we can do three things. We can list actual active packet filters, we can add more packet filters, and we can remove them. So let's see if we have anything first. PKTMON filters list for that. Actually, as you can see, I already have one, but let's remove it. To remove that, we have the remove command. But before I press this, let's see what the help says. So the command is pretty simple. It doesn't allow you to remove specific filter, it just allows you to remove all of the filters. Well, that's fine with us. So we just write PKTMON filter remove and press enter. And as you can see, all the filters were removed. That's perfect. Now let's confirm if that's what's happened. PKTMON filter list. Okay, there are no packet filters. Now let's see how we can add a specific filter. PKTMON filter add help. And here we see a lot of documentation, a lot of different flags we can use, a lot of VLANs, IP address, protocols. Well, everything is great and it's really nice to have these features here present. So, but most importantly, we have three things. We can target MACs, IP addresses, or ports. Well, actually, one thing is a port, also a protocol, so if it's UDP, TCP or something else. But the main ones will be IP addresses and ports. So now let's add a specific filter named port 80 and add the filter for port 80. To do that, we just write PKTMON filter add, and now we need to provide a name, as you can see here. A name is not important. I mean, it's not, it doesn't require to exist. So if you want to have it without it, well, that's fine with them. So let's add filter called port 80. And we want to specify a specific thing. So what we want to filter is something that uses port 80. To do that, we just write -p 80. And we press enter. Okay, so we see that filter was added. Now let's look at the lists of the filters. So filter list. And we see our filter here. And that's great. So now we have the filter defined. Now we can actually start capturing packets. So to do that, let's write PKTMON filter PKTMON start. But let's see if we have any specific needs for this command. There are a lot of information once again here. So we can start by defining what components we want to use. The thing is, Microsoft thought that it would be a great idea to name interfaces, DLLs or other system files, applications that require this to be also in the same bowl. So, well, to capture everything, we just ignore this part. But if you want to get information about these components, you can search information up there. So now the most important thing we want to do is logging session for packet capture. So using this flag. And another thing is having packet size fully in the packets. So as you can see, we have the option to log packets, and the default is 128 bytes. Well, 128 bytes might sound a lot, but it's horrible with HTTP protocol, HTTPS protocol, or any other big packet protocol. So we need to set this to 0 to capture everything, as here seen in the documentation. Okay, so let's actually start the capture. Let's see. And to start, we write PKTMON start etw p0. Okay. Now we have a message saying that it started. So it's currently writing us to a file. And all the packets we are actually doing, all the requests we are doing will be captured there. One thing we see here is the maximum file size. So if this exceeds 512 megabytes, it will start rewriting itself. So the name will be the same, and it will just rewrite the content of that file. Okay, perfect. Now let's make a few requests for random websites that will give us information. For example, msn.com. They actually use HTTPS as seen here, but the important part is some part of the page might use HTTP. So that's where we're after. Okay, so we did the request. Now we can stop. PKTMON stop. Okay, so what we can see here is this. It stopped the service, so it's no longer listening for packets, and it wrote to the file called PKTMON ETL. It's present in the current folder. So if you want to have it saved in some other location, you just change the folder using cd. But that's not important for now. Okay, so now we have this file. Let's see its content. It uses 83 megabytes of data. So its size, by capturing just a few packets, is 83 megabytes. Well, that's a lot. So now let's see the most important part from here. What do we want to do with this file? we can actually use it, Microsoft provide application, but it's outdated and it's no longer maintained, so well, this format is actually just useless. We can transform this file to some readable text format, but well, it's readable by some people and not by most of the people. So what I suggest you to do is convert this file to pkpng. To do that, we just need to do the following command: packetmon pkpng, and it only, let's just show the documentation, but it only has few parameters that we can use. But we don't need to change any parameters because we know that default values will be perfect for us. We just need to say what input file do we need. So input file is called packetmon.etl, and let's use it. After pressing enter, it's processing the file and converting it to pkpng. As you can see, the name is just this one, pkpng, and it has 682 packets. And that's perfect. Now, just out of curiosity, let's see how much space does this occupy. Okay, so as you can see, it's only 177 kilobytes of data with pkpng, while being 83 megabytes with packetmon. Well, that's a lot. Anyway, so now let's proceed. This part was to explain how packetmon works and to get a pkpng file out of it. Now let's install Wireshark. To do that, we just open our browser and browse to wireshark.org. In here, we can choose our distribution. In our case, we just want to download it for Windows, so we use 64-bit installer. Okay, it's downloaded. Now we can start it and install it on this machine. Okay, once again, it asks us if we give administrative privileges to start the installation. We choose yes. And we can install it as soon as it launches. So it looks like the file is big for the Windows. And it didn't start the installation. Let's try once again. Probably it's gonna launch 2 instances of it, but well, that's not a problem. Okay, so not sure if the first one launched or the second one, but the installation isn't going. So now we have just to click next, agree to the license terms, choose what do we want to install. In here we have different plugins, extensions, different tools, but well, the default options are perfect for us because we just need Wireshark to capture traffic and to look at it. So press next. Here we can decide if you want to install it in specific places, so have an icon on Start menu, Desktop, Quick Launch, and if you want to associate the file extensions with Wireshark. So if you open directly file, it will open Wireshark and not other application. We can just leave it as is. Here we choose the location of Wireshark. Next, and this part is very important. So in PKTMON is an application that allows you to capture the traffic. And for capturing traffic, we will need this to be installed. That's why it required us to have administrative privileges. So we want to install it if you want to capture traffic. If you just want to see packets that will be captured by packetmon or with using other tools or just downloading pickup files directly, well, you don't need it. But in most cases, just install it. Press next. This one is for capturing USB traffic. We don't need it. And we just press install. Now we just wait a minute here while it installs. And let's do one thing. While it's installing, let's download a few samples of pickup files so we can actually see how the traffic is done and how the traffic is captured in a clean way. In a clean way, by clean way, I mean the way that doesn't contain any other traffic. So being a Windows operating system, it always is trying to send some information out there, and well, it's just a lot of noise on our system. So Wireshark people provided us with a few actual captures with everything we just need about something specific. Okay, so let's accept the installation of ncapping. We can allow this as default and install. So it's installing. While it's installing still, we can open wireshark.org and search for sample captures. It's actually wiki.wireshark.org/sample captures. We go there and we can find many different captures. So there are a lot of protocols that are here, SIP, HTTP, Samba, well, everything, well, not everything, but most of the things that you could imagine. Let's go with something simple. So we search for HTTP and let's download a simple and small HTTP request. So let's take this one, and also let's take a small one that has a few files, this one. So they also note that we can download files directly. We'll get to that in just 1 second. Okay, we have this one, and let's also download another one that uses, well, something more interesting. So SSL. Where is it? Where is it? Not this one. MySQL, not SIP, rolled up. No. Okay, snake oil. This thing. We'll come back to that later. But what this has is it has communication using HTTPS traffic, but we also have the key. Okay, so this is installed. Finishing. It's now finishing the installation. And it's great. One thing I don't have here installed is unzipper for target files. So I will just download it. I normally use 7-zip as it's free and doesn't have any issues. So just search for it, download it, and install it. 64-bit version. Okay, so as soon as it stops. Okay, so our installation is done. We click next and we click finish. And we have Wireshark installed. As you can see, the icon of HTTP has already changed. So if I double click it, it will open Wireshark. First thing first, let's install 7-zip to be able to extract 2 other files. We just press install and, well, it's ready. Okay, so now let's open our HTTP example. Just like double clicking it, it shows us to use Wireshark, and we choose Wireshark and press OK. Okay, now let's look at the interface. The first part is very simple. It's just the options we can press and see different things in there. And here we have actual capture parts and going through 1 to other packets and everything like that. And here is one of the most important parts, the display filters. So in here we can write things that will limit the information we have on the other panels. And so instead of having a lot of information just in front of us, we can limit to specific things we want to see. For example, I'd like to see just HTTP traffic. And filter this is really simple. You just write HTTP and press enter. As you can see from all those packets, this one were the ones that were extracted. So this part shows us the packets themselves, the number, the time, source, destination, protocol, length of the packet, and the information. So like comments in this sense. In here we have information about the packet itself. So we have everything decoded, every part of protocol. So for example, the IP addresses are here, the TCP ports are here. So everything we have is in here. And at the end we have this information, but in actual data. So instead of having everything split up like this, beautifully put, we have all the bytes that pass through the network when this transaction happened. So when this packet was going over the network. First thing we might start doing is checking a few filters. So as you can see, we have HTTP filter. We can also have IP filters. So something that uses IP. We can also specify IP addresses. So for example, IP address in this case, I want to see things that have a specific IP address, for example 145.254.160.237, and well, we will see all the packets obviously because it has just the things that it needs. But you can have more things done with it. Another thing you can do is you can negate the information. So you can say I want everything except this, so it's a not operation. So obviously, as all the traffic uses this IP address, it will not show anything. But let's try with another IP address and it shows everything. We can also provide information on TCP ports. For example, TCP port equals 80 for just here missed one thing. So to see actual traffic being sent on this port, we can also use UDP. We can use we can join them, for example, and IP address being 145.254.160.237, and this has to be done like this. Just let's confirm. Yeah, so notice one thing that I missed another equal sign, so you have to have two equal signs for comparison. That's why it didn't work. And so I press enter and obviously I see everything here. Now let's try to change this. Port 81, once again we don't see anything. So filters in here are just great. They're magical, you can have everything you want, and to remove them you just remove everything and press enter here. So that's done. Okay, let's come back to HTTP part. So HTTP protocol has some information while sending and doing a download of page. In this case, we see here when we look for HTTP actual protocol, we see 4 packets. Now, well, this is great. We have the information of protocol itself here. We have the request. Well, it's great, and it's yeah. So the thing we have here is everything. We have everything like thrown on top of each other, and that's not great. So let's actually follow this specific packet and see the interaction. So to do that, we right-click the packet we want to and choose the option to follow. In this case, I want to follow an HTTP stream. So now I can see the actual content of the pages that were downloaded directly. So in red, we have someone who requested this. So as you can see, client. In the blue one is the server. So this request was done by some specific client, and this was the response from the server. And it's a bit big. Okay. So this way we can see specific information about the actual content of the protocol. We can do the same to see the TCP traffic and UDP traffic and things that can be extracted as at the data layer, so at the application layer. So the information actually being sent. So ignoring the parts that are less important for us to analyze, we can just look into this information we have here. Okay, so now let's come back to our first capture. As we have here, we need to copy it from this folder or just open it directly. Okay, now let's find it, PKTMON, this file. So as you can see, 81 megabytes is just wow. Okay, so once again, we can just double click it and it will open Wireshark for us. And in here we have different requests and we can just follow them once again as TCP stream in this case. Okay, so, well, PKTMON didn't capture stuff really well, so it broke a few things, as you can see, as it's not normally what happens in HTTP simple communication, but well, that's what we have. The most important thing that we have the information and we can follow this information. Okay, so now we've looked into this. Now let's look into 2 different files that we just downloaded. One of them is this HTTP with JPEGs cap. Let's extract it, right click, 7-zip, extract to this folder, and now we open the pcap. So why this packet is important, why this file is important to us? In this case, we have actual images being sent over the network. And well, sometimes you might need to extract such information by using Wireshark. It can not only be images, it can be downloading executables, it can be downloading everything that was sent over the network. And to do that, we just need to do the following. We select File, and we choose option Export Objects. In this case, we want to export HTTP objects, so we press HTTP. And in here we have every single thing that was downloaded or uploaded to the server. So now let's extract this one, the last one, as it has 191 KB of data, and let's just save it. It asks us where we want to save it, and in this case we can save it at the same folder that we used. Okay? And in here we have the image that we can open. If it opens, let's try using MS Paint, and it's opened with MS Paint. Oh, some new nice dolphins. Okay, that's perfect. So we can do the same for one file at a time. We can download them all, so by pressing Save All and saying select this folder, and it will download and save, not the download, sorry, it will save everything just from the capture. So you don't need to do a download from the server once again. You can just have your capture and have it extracted from there. Okay, so now we looked at some packets. Now let's see one important part of Wireshark. Wireshark needs to run as administrator to do this. Now we can actually try capturing packets with Wireshark itself. To do that, we need to specify a specific interface we want to listen to. So in this case, it's Ethernet port. You can just double click it and you'll start receiving packets directly. As you can see, something is already going on the network. Let's try to do some simple pings, like ping 1.8.8. Okay, and now let's see if we can. So we're capturing currently information. To stop it, we just press this red button. Okay, and once more, to save it, we can just use File Save As option. So in here we name it something like capture. Great and distinctive name. As you can see, it uses, actually it's seen here, it uses PCAP-NG file format. PCAP-NG is PCAP new generation. So before, well, actually no, the version that it changed, but this format is much faster and can contain much more information than before. So before it was PCAP was used, but then Wireshark used PCAP-NG. You can also export your file to specific PCAP file by choosing this here option. Well, you can somewhere here, PCAP-NG, PCAP, yeah. So for example, capture _1 PCAP, and it's exported it is capture1. Just let's confirm it. Yeah, so PCAP file, while this being PCAP-NG. Okay, and that's perfect. So now we have some information. Now let's find those pings that we did here. So requests we did. So to do that, we can just search for ICMP. And as can be seen here, we have the requests here. So just a few simple pings to 8.8.8.8, and we can see the request and the replies. And that's perfect. Okay, so now this part is done, and let's see one more thing. As I was saying while we were downloading the files, there is a way to work with HTTPS. So HTTPS is something that runs on top of secure socket layer. So it has the information of HTTP, but it's encrypted. In fewer words, it's HTTPS, but secure version of it. So in this case, when you capture something on the internet while you access an HTTPS website, you will only see encrypted traffic. That means you will not be able to see the actual content. So in this example, we have everything we need to actually see the content. So let's see. We extract the snake oil thingy, and in here we have another tar file to extract. And in here, okay, I missed this, we have 3 files. The actual capture that we can just open, the key file, and the readme file. So the key file is the file that will open us and allow us to actually decode the actual traffic. So before that, let's see if we see any content. So we see some application data here. Let's follow it, TCP stream. And as you can see, it's something, well, gibberish. So there is nothing that we can understand from here. But, well, actually we see some information, certificate authorities information, some what certificate was used. Well, but that's great, but it doesn't show us the content. So to show us the content, we need to have this key file. Once again, to have, in this case, HTTP was used over network where this was able to decrypt the traffic. So you can have like squid proxy or something like that that decrypts the traffic. And so let's actually use our file to decrypt it. For that, we press File, and now we have an option called Edit. Okay, so in here we have Preferences. And in Preferences we have Protocols, and in Protocols we have TLS. Before it was known as SSL, but now they changed the name for TLS. So we can just write T and search for TLS. Where is it? TLS, here it is. So now we can specify a specific file that can decrypt the information. So we have this here, and we choose Browse, and we choose our key. Press Open, press OK, and now let's look the magic happen. So we have application data, and let's follow TLS stream. Interesting. So looks like I've missed something. Let's go back again. Preferences, protocols, TLS, not UILS, TLS, and we have this key. Let's see. Okay. So actually we need to have this here. This file, not the other one. It's actual log file, so it's not the file we needed. Okay, so to decode all the protocol, we have to specify it here. So RSA key list, we press Edit, and we add the file, the key file here. So let's do this once again. We press plus, we choose key file, and we select the key file itself. Okay. Now we press OK, and now the magic happens. As you can see, we have this in green. That also means that we are on the good thing going. Okay, now let's follow HTTP stream. And as you can see, the actual traffic is being decoded. So once again, what we did here is we had HTTPS traffic, and by having the key, we were able to decode it. Well, I thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a few things. So thank you for watching. Check out the video on the right for more content to help you develop your IT career. Bye.